Okay, so events 1 and 2 have already happened, and every day I was reading the Bible before going to bed and watching videos of people on YouTube, testimonies and stuff. And then on the week from June 5th to the 9th of 2017, it was excursion week in the university, and so we had no classes, but I had a lab, but at the end I couldn't take it and I had nothing to do, so I decided to read the Bible the whole week and watch videos and stuff. So what happened was on June 8th, on Thursday, before I had read in the Bible Matthew 27, adultery, the subtitle, and it says, "You have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart." That's what Jesus said. And when I read that, I was like, we are all screwed. And from then on, I started to try to live my life according to that standard, to what Jesus had said, and according to what I have read in the Bible. I mean, because if you have lustful thoughts, you are committing sins in your heart, and I didn't want to do that. So on Thursday, June 8th, I have a dream, and in the dream there is this girl, and she is naked, facing up, and I see her, and I notice that she has like a huge tattoo going from her shoulder to her thigh of concentric circles of colors red, blue, and yellow. And I don't remember the order of the colors, but those were the colors. So I noticed that, and I'm like surprised, but okay. Then there's like a pause in the dream, and I take the initiative, and we start having relations. And I was having fun in the dream. We were there in the act. I woke up, I went to the bathroom, then I came back. And when I lay down on my bed, I'm thinking, I am very disappointed with myself, because I had been trying to live to this standard that, even thoughts. Now I had this dream about this, so I'm very disappointed with myself, and I'm thinking, this is impossible. Like what the Bible states, you cannot do it. This is not possible. And after some seconds or minutes, I start sleeping again, and this dream starts, in which I am in my grandparents' house. And this house was where we always, as kids, would gather all the cousins together and play, and the family and stuff. So I was in that house in the dream, and it was like I was really sleeping, like I really was in reality. And I hear my grandpa, and he calls me like, "Federico Carlos, get up and come here, please." Like something he had said before. And it was so real to me that I felt that I was gonna get up from being asleep, because he was calling me, and I was gonna get up from bed. But at that very moment, the dream changed, and my grandma she came into the room, like if I was laying on my bed, and she came in and she said like, boy, don't do this or something, you know. She was like pointing something out to me like she used to say. And then I hear my aunt, like if she were in the kitchen and she was saying like, this kid eats so well, like Fede, he eats so well, or something about food. And all the three things, it's like they picked these voices from a library of what you speak, and they put it there for me. And it was things, they were things that they had said before. And after that, I see a sky full of stars. And then I see big bubbles of 2, 3, 4 centimeters in diameter, and they come from down up. They appear. It's like they are coming from below and rising, and they start agglomerating. And when they agglomerate, I can see something, but there's a region where they are not very agglomerated yet, so I'm trying to focus my eyes, and when they do agglomerate, I see Jesus Christ is there looking at me. He's very serious looking at me, and I'm in shock, and I'm scared. And I'm thinking, and I know who he is right away, and I'm thinking, why don't I say hi? Why don't I wave my hand? Because I know who he is. But I can't speak, and I cannot move in the dream. And you know, I was scared, but it wasn't like I wanted to run the other way. You know, it was like a reverential fear, to put it in words. And you know, I see him as a human being from waist up, and I see that the color I saw in his clothing was red, like if he had a red mantle. And I see that, you know, his beard and hair onto the shoulders, and I see that he has, you know, brownish skin, you know, more brown than me, like brownish skin. And what I notice, you know, brown hair and stuff, what I notice is that his nose is wider, taller, and longer than anything I had thought before. And I'm looking, like I'm seeing, and I'm looking at his nose, because it's like it caught my attention. And you know, months later that I had this experience, then I found a guy that he just appeared to him like in a vision or in reality, and he describes it in extreme detail. And he said that he had a strong nose, and you know, everything that he said coincides with what I saw. And then, I mean, he's looking at me seriously, like he's not like moving his face or doing any facial movement. He's like just serious there, looking at me, not doing anything. And I'm scared. And then after like 5-10 seconds, he disappears. And then this other man appeared. And this man is also looking at me, and he kind of smiled, but I don't know who this man is. And I'm thinking, and I have this question coming to my head, like, is it Peter, the apostle? But I don't know, because he doesn't have like a name tag, Peter the apostle, you know? And I have no clue. I mean, I don't know really who he is. And after 5 or 10 seconds, he disappears. And another man appears. And this man has, black beard and black hair, and he's looking at me, and he's like I get that he's a bit smaller in size than the other man, and he's looking at me, but I don't have any clue of who this guy is. I have nothing. And after like 5-10 seconds, he disappears. And then this story, the dream progresses with this story that I get up from the floor in a city, and I have a t-shirt and jeans, and I see a briefcase, and I know it is mine. And I have in my head this question, like, how can I get back to this hotel where I was staying, or this place where I was staying? And I need to find out how to get there. So I see 2 women, and I ask one, hey, could you help me? And I start showing her in my cell phone pictures in order to see if she can recognize something, and she can tell me, oh yeah, I know where that is, or something. But I start showing her pictures extremely fast, like this, like if it were normal. And she doesn't recognize anything, and then she tells me, like, move a bit down, left, right, something, and I tell her, like, let me go to WhatsApp media, because all the pictures are there, and I go there and I start, I continue moving, nothing. She cannot help me. And suddenly I see a Dominican guy, and I know he's Dominican because he has in his shoulders the national Dominican shield of the flag. He has it impressed, printed on his clothing here. And I say, hey, do you know how to get to the place we were staying? And he says, Chipre. He tells me the name of the place, something like Chipre. Oh yeah, tal. Yeah, this place. And I'm like, okay. And I tell the woman, thank you, really, thank you. And I go with the Dominican. And then I suddenly see another Dominican. I ask him, like, do you know how to get there? And he says, like, yeah, no worries, we'll figure it out. And then I'm going, like, with these 2 Dominicans, and suddenly the dream changes, and I'm telling here a crowd of people, a mass of people, and I'm not recognizing anyone. It's just that there's a crowd, and there's like a woman there. And the 2 Dominicans, they must have been there, because 1 microsecond before they were with me, but it's not like I didn't see them. And I start telling them, like, guys, I've seen Jesus, and I'm crying of excitement. And I tell them, but I also saw these other 2 men, but I don't know who they are. And when I say I don't know who they are, I woke up in this reality, and when my eyes opened, my eyes were looking at my curtain, and I'm seeing some letters, like there's a message, and I'm trying to focus my eyes. I'm trying to read, what the heck is that? And I see Bible, and I see read the Bible, but then my mind changes to Spanish, and I see lee la Biblia. And when what I thought that the message stated was read the Bible, the letters disappeared, and the curtain was also undulated, so it was also a bit hard to read because of that. But when what I thought the message stated was that, the letters disappeared. And then I noticed that I'm crying. Like, when I was crying of excitement, I was really crying physically in this body. I was really crying, and tears are coming down towards my ears. And then I noticed that my fingers here are attached, stuck, extremely strong to my palms. Like when I saw Jesus, I got so scared, like I contracted myself, and my hands were stuck from that time until I woke up. And then I'm trying to release my fingers, and I'm like just some have control. And then, that's what happened. So the thing is, I saw read the Bible. So because I was asking myself, like, with about the two guys that I saw, like, who are you? I don't know you. So then I saw read the Bible. So I understood, like, so you know who these men are. And okay, cool. I went to the Bible and I continued reading where I left before, and I couldn't see anything. I mean, I didn't see two men or anything that would tell me anything. So I was like, it wasn't there. So, okay. The thing is, on June 23rd, I went to Amsterdam, and I was gonna meet there two Dominican friends. But at the time, I wasn't thinking about anything. I was just living my life. And, I went there, and I had a t-shirt, and I had jeans, and I had a briefcase, which I was rolling. And I had also a backpack. And when I get there, I'm with my cell phone in Google Maps trying to get to the Airbnb place where we were going to stay. And they were there already, so I was trying to get there. And 3 minutes before I got there, my cell phone discharged. And I'm like, well, okay, what can I do now? And I see a bus stop, and I go there, and there are two women there. And I start trying to talk to one, and they both try to help me. I say, like, could you help me find out, like, I'm trying to get to this address, but what I have is the zip code, not the house number or anything. So they cannot help me. And they point to me that there's like a cell phone store across the street. So, I go there and I talk to the guy. He allowed me to charge my cell phone. And then through WhatsApp, I talk to my friends and I tell them, hey, could you come here? Because, my cell phone could discharge again. And the guy, he was almost closing time. So he they were almost closing the place too. So I couldn't stay forever charging. And so my friends agreed and came to pick me up. And the thing is, one of them crossed the street first, and the other was left behind. So I just saw one Dominican first, and I'm like, I greet him, and then I see the other Dominican, and I say, hey, what's up, blah, blah, blah. And then I go with my two Dominican friends, and we stayed in Amsterdam. I never told them anything. Amsterdam is a city of crazy stuff. So it's not like you go there to talk about Jesus. And I had it in my mind to tell them, about what had happened, but I wasn't associating what was happening with the dream, and I wasn't thinking about that. So I didn't tell them. I went back to the city where I was staying before, and I continued reading the Bible and watching videos, and I saw this video of a man who had a vision, and he said that he had two briefcases with him and that they indicated where he was going. And when he said that, I thought about my briefcase in the dream, and then I started realizing of everything that had happened and all the similarities of what I lived and what I dreamed. And I was like, whoa, I need to tell my friends. And then I told them through WhatsApp, and they were, surprised and stuff. And, one of them, an atheist, and the other agnostic or something. And, so because I felt I had to tell them because of the dream. But I also had to tell this crowd of people. And that's what I'm trying to do now by making this video. So then what is left is who are the two men. So I continued reading and Matthew, Mark, Luke and John, and I couldn't, nothing. So I didn't know yet who the two men were. So but when I got to Acts, to the 5th book of the New Testament, I read this on Acts 3 from 1 to 4. It says, Peter heals a lame beggar, or an eye is healed in the Bible I have. And it says, one day Peter and John were going up to the temple at the time of prayer at 3 in the afternoon. Now a man who was lame from birth was being carried to the temple gate called Beautiful, where he was put every day to beg from those going into the temple courts. When he saw Peter and John about to enter, he looked straight at him, as did John. Then Peter said, "Look at us." And it continues. And then I see in Acts 4, verse 13, it says, when they saw the courage of Peter and John and realized that they were unschooled, ordinary men, they were astonished, and they took note that these men had been with Jesus. And then on 19th, it says, but Peter and John replied, which is right in God's eyes, to listen to you or to him? You be the judges. And in Acts 5, the subtitle before the verse 17 is Peter and John are persecuted. So I understood that these two men were Peter and John. I invite you to take a Bible and start reading it from the New Testament. Read about what God did, what Jesus did, what he said, because he came into this world being the Son of God, and he gave his life so we could have eternal life after this physical life. We all will die one day, unless something happens, which is in the Bible, so you should read it too. So I just wanted to let you guys know and make the invitation for you to read, because this is serious.